This call is now
This
being
is
recorded.
Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Ricky Black.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, Ricky.
Hey. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for calling me back. So last time we spoke, you had just got to reception, I believe, and you had been recently sentenced to life or 25 to life. Was it without parole or with parole?
With parole.
With parole, okay. All right, and do you want to go ahead and take off and start off where you left off?
Yeah. So I was sentenced to 36 to life, 26 to life, and 25 to life. 3 consecutive life sentences. And from Bakersfield County Jail, I was sent to Wasco State Prison reception. And at the time, I was a validated gang member, so I was housed in the administrative segregation in 2000, the end of 2000, and I wound up staying in the administrative segregation there for, I'd say, about 7 to 8 months before I was sent to Corcoran Shoe. And I wind up staying in Corcoran Shoe for 8 years before I decided to walk away from that lifestyle and begin living life on my own terms.
What was it that you did to end up in ADSEG?
Well, I had become a gang member at a young age, and when I came to prison prior to my life sentence, I wound up getting validated by the prison system as a prison gang member. And because I was validated as a prison gang member, I was put in ad seg, and I wind up assaulting a couple of guys in ad seg that um, fell out of favor with the gang, which gave me some additional time in ad seg. But at that time, because I was already validated, it really didn't matter. But it was due to my validation is why I was initially put in ad seg.
And these assaults that you committed, were you obligated to assault these other inmates?
Oh yeah, yeah. Once you get involved in gangs in prison, you're obligated to do whatever the gang needs you to do. And for me, I thought, I mean, if I didn't, do things that were requested of me, that potentially it could happen to me myself by saying no. But as a gang member, that's what you sign up for. That's what you're getting into. So you do feel a sense of obligation at the time.
Have you ever heard of anybody refusing to do something like that? And if they did, what was the outcome?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
It depends on what it is, what exactly you're being asked. But for the most part, if you refuse to do something, you're pretty much put in it's called the hat in prison. And what that means is that you're put on a hit list yourself, and the first chance that the gang could get, they're gonna make an attempt on your life as well. So that's usually the repercussions to that.
And for somebody who's never been to prison, they're probably thinking, well, why don't you just ask for a transfer and go to a different prison uh, where nobody will know you and they won't recognize you? to that person, what would you tell them?
There's no such thing. There's no such thing as of transferring to another prison and no one's going to know you. In California State Prison, the gangs run the prison yards, and communication from prison to prison is done daily. So whatever prison you transfer to, before you get there, they'll know you're there, and someone might be on the bus with you who knows your situation that's being transferred to you. It's not like you're being put in a helicopter and flown in the middle of the night by yourself to some secret location here in California. You're put on a bus with 40 other inmates, and you're transferred from that prison you're in to another prison. So everybody on that bus already knows your situation that gets on there with you. So there's no hiding here.
Interesting. So once you
It is. Mm-hmm.
once you so once you committed that assault, you picked up a DA referral, or you got some additional time added to your sentence.
Right. Absolutely. I've picked up 10 additional years that's been added to my sentence.
And what do you think the DA in the county you were at? Why did they choose to prosecute you when you already have a life sentence?
I think they're obligated to by the law, because what happens is the prison, once you commit a felony in prison, they send that case to the county that you're in, and because they've submitted that felony, the county's obligated to arraign you on it.
And when you committed this assault, was the victim, were they cooperating, or did they make a statement against you to the prison officials?
I believe so. Of course, I don't get those documents saying uh, they did, but the majority of the time they do.
And let's say, for hypothetically here, if if they didn't cooperate with the prison officials, could the state still charge you with the crime?
Oh yeah, yeah, and they do. They do. It doesn't necessarily take someone cooperating or making a statement against you. The fact that you're seen by officers assaulting someone else, because a lot of times it's caught on camera, because there's a lot of cameras in prison, that the videotape itself is enough evidence.
So the chances of getting away with committing more crimes while you're in prison are slim, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, yeah, and some of these prisons now, the officers wear body cameras on their uniforms. So, and then just in my housing unit alone, right here, I have 8 cameras in my housing unit alone. That's not counting the ones that's at work or on the yard.
And you just mentioned a moment ago that officers, or correction officers, wear body cams. Are these cameras,
Yeah.
are they running 24/7, or do they have to be activated by the officer, or uh what's the process of getting these cameras to record?
I believe once they get their equipment on, uh, they have to activate it. Once they get on active duty, it has to be activated. That's my understanding.
So pretty much any interaction they have with anybody in that institution, it's going to be recorded and documented if something illegal is happening in the presence of this said officer, right?
Video, yep, video and audio. Yeah.
Wow. So once you committed this assault and you were charged with any crime, were you sentenced or were you did you owe any ADSEG time to the prison?
I didn't because I was validated, and that meant that I was already assigned uh, to the security housing unit. So all of your time just runs together because of that. So because I was never uh, in general population, I guess you would say, on the main line, because I was in security housing already, that my time just ran together.
So in other words, you were at the end of the rope. You as one might say, there was no other level or floor or unit that you could be transferred to, right?
No, no, that was the end of the line. That was the end of the line right there. It doesn't get any worse than that. And I think a lot of times, because of that, that sense of hopelessness kind of sets in. And, there's a lot of anger and resentment and rage that comes with that, being locked in yourself for so long that you look for opportunities to do something. So a lot of times that's what happens.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
During this
Not
time,
only do you,
go ahead, go ahead.
hmm go ahead, no, go ahead.
During this time when you're in ADSEG, do you have a celly or are you housed by yourself?
Oh yeah, double cell.
And when you're celled up with somebody else, is it easy to live with somebody else in a room probably the size of a restroom?
A small bathroom is about the size of it. So it's about 12 feet by, I think, 6 or 7 is what my current cell is.
And how is it how easy is it to get along with somebody, because you guys are not going out of that cell, right? You guys are confined to that cell for what 23 hours a day.
It's very difficult, very, very difficult to get along with your cellie, but you're forced to, uh, because there's no fighting with your cellie when you're a validated gang member is against the rules. So you're forced to get along until you can find another situation to where you can live with someone else.
And what would you do to keep your mind occupied uh during those long months and years that you spent in that cell?
Everything that you possibly can, beginning with exercise, educating yourself with any material, whether it be schoolwork, college work, legal work, any time that you can go to the law library to study the law, drawing, if you have artistic talents, or for those who write poetry, you have all of those opportunities to enhance those skills that you may have. Um, a lot of chess is played in solitary confinement. Exercise is a big deal. Everybody works out a couple of hours a day at the beginning of the day.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
There's also activities that goes on that everybody has to follow um, in the unit as well. So uh, within the gangs and those who are running the units, you have to participate in those activities as well. So it fills up your day.
And what do those commitments or activities consist of?
Making weapons, uh, doing illegal things, sending communications to other gang members in different parts of the prison, things of that nature.